My creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today is Monday, September the 8th, 2025. So, welcome to the squad today. If you are here during the live, be sure and leave me a comment over there so I know that you're here and tell me where you're watching from. I can already see that there are a few of you here. So thanks for tuning in. And if you're watching the replay later, also leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, and if you're going to make some cards, because that is really why we're here, right? We're here to make cards. We are, hi, Carla. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here, you guys. I'm going to make Halloween cards today. So I hope that you will take a look and you'll get inspired to make some Halloween projects too. Hi, Julie Baum. How are you? Thanks for being here. All right, let's measure a few things and then we'll get started. This is my card base, and it is basic black, and it's 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And I've already scored it in the middle at 4.25. So actually, I'm just going to go ahead and fold and burnish that while we're here. I've also got a piece of basic white, and let me measure this. It is 4 inches by 5.25 inches. I'm going to hold off on that for just a minute. This is just a scrap of basic white. I'm going to stamp on this and then die cut. And here are some pieces of designer series paper. This is 2 inches wide by 5.5 inches long. And then I've just got a little strip. I think it's a 1/2 inch wide. Yes, a 1/2 inch wide and 5.25 inches long. Then I've just got a little scrap of Daffodil Delight cardstock. And then, so cute, this piece. Let's talk about this designer series paper because it's really special. Okay. And I think there's one sheet missing because I've already used it all up. So we're going to see most of it, but not all of it right here. All right. You'll get two of each of these in the pack. And this one, oops, there goes my AirPod. Um, this one has punch outs. So I don't know if you can see, these are all perforated, and you just punch them out and use them on your project. So 2 pages of that. I love it when Stampin' Up! Does that. It makes creating things so easy. And then there's 2 pages of this adorable print with all of these little animals dressed up for Halloween. The back side, beautiful pumpkin pie. Then we have this piece that's oh so cute with the kitty cats and all these little eyes peeking out of the windows. And the reverse side of that is white, but a little bit of texture with some pumpkin pie in there. Then we've got two sheets like this. And so I'm not going to use them today. We'll do this on a later video. But cutting these apart and using them as tags could be a great way to use this piece. On the back, we've got some nice gray. Looks kind of like smoky slate to me. And then this really cute print. I'm gonna hold it up here so you can see it with the stars and the bats and all the candy. Very Halloween. And on the back, we've got black with some pumpkin pie mixed into it. And then part of this piece is gone because it's already been used. And we're going to use it today as well. So it had some sections here. So it's kind of like this is one section, And then this was another section, and then there was another section up here. Today, we're going to be using this section from another sheet to make two cards. So you would just cut right along here, cut along there, and then I cut it in half. So we're going to take a look at that. And actually, we're going to use part of it to make two cards. And then I've already made the card with this piece down here. So I'll show you that one at the end. Okay, so here's a piece of it. I'm going to go ahead and put a few things together here, and then we'll do some stamping and some die cutting. I'm just going to take this piece, and the color that's in this is Petunia Pop, and it's so pretty. I love when they use some bright accent colors with the Halloween and not just black and orange. But let's see if this glue is working today. Yes, it is. So we'll just put that. I'm kind of eyeballing it to put it vertically in the center of my card. Think I've got that pretty straight. So that goes there. This is just going to go right on top. So let's go ahead and do that. So you'll notice this is not my usual method. Normally, I've got margins on the sides and the top and bottom that are all equal. But the paper doesn't lend itself to that. And I'm fine with that because I feel like this is kind of whimsical. And so we can break all the rules. If we're using whimsical paper, we get to break all the rules. So that's what I think about that. This is going to go on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of designer series paper on that. Let's just put that near the bottom here. It's just a tiny bit long, so we'll trim that. Just a tiny bit. And we'll just take this right off. There we are. I'll go ahead and put that on the inside here. Mhm. Open my glue back up. Okay. I did cut this to have my normal margins around the edges, so this part is following the rules. Adorable. All right, stamping. I am going to use the Spooky Halloween stamp set. Absolutely adorable. This is a little cat, this little dog, Frankenstein dog, witch cat, very cute, great sentiments. I love it. I think they did a really excellent job with the Halloween set this year. So I'm going to use the stamp set and then also the dies. And I've pulled a few of them out that I'm actually going to use, but here's some of the other dies in the set. This one is for the little dog. We've got some bats, fence. This cuts out a little jack-o'-lantern, and we have a haunted house. And then this is like a tab. We'll use it on something else on another day. So you can see how that works. That is what we're using. And let's grab some black ink. I've got my Memento here. I want to ink up my kitty cat. See if I can get this inked up pretty good. Not bad. Let's put her right here. There she is. She's so cute. All right. I also want to stamp this little broom, because every witch needs a broom, right? So we'll put the broom here. And then I also want to stamp a little jack-o'-lantern. Put that right there. Now we need to color. And I haven't colored in a while, so I've actually been really enjoying doing it. So let's pull out some things here. This is Smoky Slate, light and dark. So that is going to be my kitty. So I'm going to go ahead and take the dark one and do the rim of her ears with the dark Smoky Slate. And if you guys have this set and you've been playing with it, I would like to know what colors you're using on your kitty cat and your little dog. Because I've seen other demonstrators using several different colors. I just decided to use gray today. And I'm just kind of going along the edge with the dark here. And then let's fill in with the light. And I'm going to leave this part in the middle white. So she's got a little white strip coming down, and also a little white muzzle around her nose and her mouth. The card I will show you at the end, I use the dog. So we need to have equal time for the dog lovers and the cat lovers. Don't want to leave anybody out. Let's do her little front paws and her little feet. And last, her tail. All right, that's all the kitty. Now we've got to do her clothes. So I'm going to do her little top here with the dark pumpkin pie. Oh, Carla. Okay, so I'm looking over the comments here because I feel like I'm behind. Having FOMO about the comments again. So, yes, on the cat or on the cat and dog themselves or on the costumes. I was actually thinking about the fur on the animals, but if you've got some ideas about the colors for their costumes, interested in that too. After I get finished with the coloring here, I'll jump back over there and take a peek at the comments before we got cut. There we go. Bright orange, super cute. Now, her skirt is going to be light petunia pop, and I'm just taking cues from the designer series paper to decide what colors I'm using for her little outfit here. And now socks. We've got socks. So I think I'll do striped socks with granny apple green. And this is the light granny apple green. And with light daffodil delight. So these look like witchy socks, huh? Super cute. Well, we can't forget about the inside of her ears and her nose. And so I pulled out light bubble bath for that. And just a tiny bit right there. Ah, she's adorable. Now, I want to do her broom. So let me grab that Daffodil Delight again. So I'm just kind of dotting some color in there instead of stroking back and forth across the black, because I have found that if you do that, it will bleed just a little bit. So sometimes I just try to dot the color in. I'm going to make this little jack-o'-lantern granny apple green. Okay. And there was one thing I wanted to mention, well, since we're coloring today, and that is, well, two things, I guess. That is one, the color lifter. So if you ever color just a little bit outside the line and you want to clean that up a little bit, the color lifter will do exactly what it says and kind of not exactly erase, but make that color that's not where you want it to be less noticeable. So if you don't have a color lifter, but you like to use the balloons to color, you might consider getting one of these because that will fix your oopsies. The other thing is the Stampin' Right marker. So we've got some solid areas here in black, and they stamped pretty good today. But every once in a while, there might be just a little part that's not as black as you want it to be. And if that happens to me, I just use my Stampin' Right marker to fill in a little bit and sharpen up that image. So let me come over and check in the comments and see what's up. Hi, Shauna. Yes, the dog green. You'll see in the sample that I have at the end, I did green too. Brown, tan, gray. Yep, yep. I was thinking it might be cute to do the cat to look like an orange tabby cat. I haven't tried that, but it seems like that might be fun too. Hi, Kathy. Oh, Carla, you like the color lifter. Good. Yeah, it comes in handy. It does come in handy. All right, I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this little scrap of Daffodil Delight. So let me grab my tuxedo black again. Ink that up and there we go. No tricks, all treats. That's the way we want our Halloween to go, right? Let me just set that aside. Let me grab my mini cut and emboss machine and bring her over here. We've got our kitty cat. I've got the die for her right here. I can get that lined up. That looks pretty good. Oh, and there was one other thing I was going to do with the kitty cat, and I forgot. So I'll do it after we do the die cutting. And I need my die for my broom. So just curious, who's a dog person and who's a cat person in the chat today? I mean, some people like both, but it does seem like most people have a preference one way or the other. Dogs or cats, team dog or team cat. All right, I'm just using some Post-it note tape to hold everything in position. And these are brand new plates. Very exciting. We're going to break those in today. Squeak, squeak, squeak. There we go. Okay, completely adorable. Broom and whoops, jack-o'-lantern. So cute. Okay, now what I forgot was I feel like she needs a little Wink of Stella on that skirt. I want to go full tutu and put a little wink on the tutu, on the skirt. I don't think it's ever a bad time to use Wink of Stella. Little bling, little sparkle on our skirt. That is what we need. Okay, you know what? I'm going to put a little banner on each end, little banner cut. Looks like this end is a little bit longer than the other, so let's just cut that down a little. Back to my scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball this and cut up a little ways right in the middle. And then from the corner to the end of that cut, and we are, and from the corner to the middle again. Awesome. Let's do the same on this side. This is the way I like to do my banner ends. If I try to just cut it, I get one side skinnier than the other, one side longer than the other. I can't just walk up and do boop boop like that. I can't do that. Not that good. So I I have to cut it in half first and then go for it. Okay, let's put it together. All right. I'm gonna put her right in here. We need some dimensionals. I feel the need for dimensionals. Got some little ones here. So let's just use those. A few more. Okay, I think that'll do it. Let's put her right in here. Get rid of the backing here. Oop, almost pulled the whole dimensional off. I think we got all those, just these two left. Here she goes. Just getting ready to go right up there and knock on the door. All right. Well, the witch needs her broom. So I think I'm going to put that right in here. Just going to put a dimensional right on the bottom. I think a little one will fit right in there. And then this will go, I think, like right here. I'll slide that in. There we go. And we've got our little sentiment. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to pop that up too. Let me grab some big dimensionals so I don't have to put so many on there. All right, when I finish this card, I'm going to come over and check the chat, see what you guys are up to. There we go. And we got to do something with this little jack-o'-lantern. I'll put that right in here. And I don't know, maybe the jack-o'-lantern just sits inside here, like right there. How about that? And I've got one more question I want to ask you in just a second. Come on, glue. There we go. So funny. Okay, last question. I already had some little bats die cut for another project. So what do you think? Do we need some bats in here to go with our little handy jack-o'-lantern holder? Hmm. I say yes. I say yes to the bats. Yes, bats. We want bats. Okay. Why not? What's Halloween without a bat? And you know what? I will always say yes to the bats because I kind of have a low-key obsession with bats. I don't really know what that's about, but I have for a very long time. Adorable. Well, one last thing. How about some bling? Some bling a ding ding. Okay. I am going to grab my take your pick tool and my goodness. Okay. Let's put one of these just right up here and one of these. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on her witch's hat right like that. How about that? She has a little more bling to go with her skirt. And then let's do one of these white sparkly ones too. We'll put it right there. Okay, that's our card. I love it. I hope you love it. What's happening in the chat over here? Yes to the sparkle skirt. It looks like we're all on the same page with the sparkle skirt. Oh, Carla had to jump out. Bats. Yeah, everybody likes the bats. Yay. Okay. Card number one. We've got one more. So let's put that one aside and make another. And then I have a third to show you right at the end. Okay. So this one, doing a little bit different. We're still using a piece of that designer series paper for our scenic background. But then I went to the one page and just fussy cut out a couple of characters, this funny flamingo. And then this has got to be one of my favorites because it's a bat dressed like a ghost. Of course. What else would we have for Halloween except a bat dressed like a ghost? Okay. I'm using pumpkin pie for this card base. Let's burn that. And then inside, I got white. I'm going to go ahead and put that inside, and then we'll do something else with it in the end. There we go. I'm going to layer these up and put this on a piece of basic black cardstock. So with this designer series paper, really, your options are endless. You're only limited by your imagination. And you see, again, I'm not doing equal borders. I'm not worried about that. We're doing whimsy today. So it's all good. Let's go ahead and put this on the front of our card. Super fun. Now this is really fast because I've just got the little fussy cut critters that I'm going to use. And actually, I'm going to stamp on this piece of Granny Apple Green. Let's see here. Here's a stamp that says, "Don't worry, eat sweets." So I think that's appropriate. Let's get that memento black ink. And There we go. Very cute. Now I am going to cut this in half. First of all, I'm going to trim the end here because we don't need all of that. And then cut it in two pieces because I thought that would look better than just a really long strip here. Okay, this little guy is going to go on the front. So fun. I don't know where to put him. Should he go like more over here underneath the flowers, or should he go closer to the front porch? Tell me what you think. I'm just gonna put these up here, kind of looking kind of random, maybe like this. I love the green in this. Makes a fun pop of color on the card. Okay, what do we think? Are we doing ready to ring the doorbell, or are we going to be over here? I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. Animals are so cute. There's also a little bear that's really adorable. And I think there's some crows, lots of different options. Okay, Shauna says by the front porch. Lisa, and I know that not everybody gets super excited about Halloween, but they are really cute, right? The little critters are so cute. Okay, there we go, by the front porch. Excellent. Now, let's put this little gal on the inside. Let's add a little bit of blue. She would definitely be cute on the outside of the card too. She was just a little too big for this particular scene. Looks very fancy, especially like this. I guess it's like a tiara. It's what it makes me think of, a little tiara on top of her head. So that makes me feel like we need to put a little Wink Stella on it if it's a tiara. She gets a little sparkle. Okay, so let's see. There is a stamp with little bitty bats. So do we want to add some bats on the inside of this card? What do you think? No bats on the outside, but we could stamp these little ones up here in the corner. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And usually I stamp before I glue something down, but I just didn't think about it. So we're gonna try it here. Ta-da! I like it. I like it. I like it. And I think our Wink of Stella has dried. Yes. Okay. So, last question. I do have another little die cut bat. We could put him here. I'm just loading up my card with all the cute things. Let me grab my glue here. There we go. And let's put this right up, right up in here next to our sentiment. Super fun. Okay, there we go. Card number two. So I did do the fussy cutting for those. You don't have to fussy cut. You could use the punch outs. You could stamp and do the die cutting like I did on the first card. I'm gonna ask this to lay down a little bit better. It just keeps wanting to pop open. There we go. All right. So we've got both of these. Hold on. Let's get like this so we can get in the frame. Now, this is the one that I had made earlier. So this is the dog with a little Frankenstein costume. And we didn't put any stars on the card. We just did. We'll do that. We've got our bats, and I popped them up on here. We've got a little layer back here, and I think I actually used lemon lime twist for that. And then look inside. Ha ha, spooky. Very cute. Very cute. Okay, okay, we need the stars for this one other card because I left them out, and that won't do. That just won't do. Okay, let's put one right here and a little white one. Mhm. Around and around and around she goes. And a black one. And these little bitty black ones right in here. There we go. Okay, let me head over to the comments to see what's up. The words. Yeah. Why have all the words in one long strip when you can cut them into pieces and put them on your card, right? More bats. All bats. Lisa likes this one. It is cute. It is cute. So, just as a reminder, these three cards, this background for those three cards was this, and then this, and then this piece. So, three quick and easy cards out of the designer series paper. Love it, love it, love it. If you're going to do Halloween this year, it's time to get started. It is time to get started. All right, last little bit. Remember, if you're looking for me, this is where you can find me. There's a little bit of information about me. There's shopping, of course, shopping online in my store. And then also, I've got a tab of my projects where you'll find this project and many, 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 many other projects. And when you click on them, you'll see the measurements and the entire shopping list for that project. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping by today. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that you will make some fun Halloween projects. And I will be back again next week, Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. So have a great week. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.